Hello, and welcome along to my 6 tips to become an engaging leader. My name's Nigel McPolin, and I'll be your host on this session. To a little bit of background about myself, I'm an occupational psychologist with over 23 years' experience across the types of clients that you see here on the screen, and both locally and internationally. And my current role is that I'm the founder of B times two, which we have two main parts to our services: an employee engagement diagnostic and the Engaging Leadership Academy, which has both online leadership development and traditional consultancy. So, in this session on our 6 tips to becoming an engaging leader, by the end of the session, you'll understand the impact of not engaging your people. You'll understand what cost comes with that. You'll know that engaging leadership is within your grasp. It's not something that's beyond all of us. And I'll give you 6 things that you can do to become an engaging leader. 6 easy things to do. Okay? So, what about the impact of not engaging your people? Well, we all know the old adage: people don't leave jobs, they leave managers. And this is what we call a truism. How many times do you know good people walking away from a good job because of the relationships within that job, the relationships that they have with their colleagues, but most likely their manager? The manager has the biggest significant impact on whether an employee is engaged or not, and that's something to really bear in mind. So when you think about this, employees need good leadership. They expect good leadership. They expect the leader to provide the framework in which they can then go and do their job within that. They need those parameters. They need to know what the direction of travel is. They need to know, what's accepted, what's not accepted. What will happen if we make a mistake? What will happen if we take a risk? So that's where they need the leadership. Good employees aren't great employees by themselves. They're great employees within a good leadership framework. And if you're not providing that, are you guilty of chasing your best talent away, and most likely away to your key competitors? So the key question is engaging leadership beyond you? My answer to that is no, it's not. We can all learn simple techniques and simple things that we can do. Engaging leadership is about doing the small things right consistently. It's not about any style of heroic, charismatic leadership. That's not required. What's required is building a culture in your team and in your organization where people can be the best employees they can be. An engaging leader doesn't always necessarily lead from the front. It can lead from the side, the back, wherever it's needed, because everybody in your team is different. So let me talk you through our 6 tips. I believe that engaging leadership is very much within your grasp. I believe that you have the ability to become a very engaging leader, and especially if you follow my 6 tips. The first one of these is to be authentic. We all know the old saying, people like people, but even more so, we like people who are genuine, who are sincere, who we can read. We know who that person is. We know that that person isn't interested or that concerned with their own gain in a job, that they're leading us because they want the job done for the best result for the team, the best result for the organisation. What is the optimum outcome? That's their interest, not where's the glory for me. So the ego very much takes a back seat. So behave in the office, behave in the workplace as you would behave in private. Allow your team to get to know the real you. Allow them to connect with the real you. That's where you'll get that real engagement. That's where you'll get that real connection between you and the people that you lead. That's when you'll get people choosing that they want to work for you. They want to work with you. They want to do their best by you. They don't want to let you down. It's when they've connected with you, not through instructions, not through demands, not through any other form of traditional management. It's because they want to do it for you. And that's where authentic leadership is key to engagement. Because when people get to know you, then they'll want to work for you. Okay. Second tip is to be consistent. I have to say this is my favorite piece of advice to give to new managers and new leaders. Consistency is key. Your team members, the people that you lead, they need to know how you behave. They need to know how to deal with you. So in order for them to do that, what they need from you is clear, consistent communication. They also need to know clear, consistent behaviour, and you'll see later on in a few of the later steps, or a few of the later tips here, why that's important. Because if there's failure, if there's risk, your consistency is absolutely crucial. They don't need you to blow hot and cold. They can do without. They've enough to worry about, without wondering, well, how's my manager going to take this? They should know how you're going to take it. So that consistency is key. The return for you, when you're consistent, and your team know how to deal with you, know how to communicate with you, and know what's coming back, well, then you're going to get that steady stream of feedback. You're going to have fairly immediate knowledge of everything that's happening in your team, because your people will tell you, because they know how to deal with you. So it's very important. The third tip, and I think this again is absolutely crucial. People need to feel safe. People need to feel that they can take a risk, where that risk can be taken. So you need to create this culture where contribution is safe and failure is safe. Okay, so you have to encourage your people to take risks, to be innovative, to be creative, to continually look how to improve what they do, the quality of what they do, the amount of what they do, their productivity, their performance, all aspects of their job, that they're always looking for better efficiencies, they're always looking for improvement. If you encourage your team to behave like that, you're gonna reap many successes. Your team's going to be high performing. But along the way, there's also going to be failures. And that's where your leadership, and that's where the psychological safety comes into play. We already talked about consistency. You can see now why that consistency is important. So the key thing here is that you reward the successes, you reward the innovation, you reward the creativity, not just the successes on their own. Yes, you reward those, but you reward the effort, you reward the thought, all within the parameters of your leadership. But if you fear the failure, if you let the failure rule how you lead, well, then you're going to be plotting that pathway to mediocrity. You're going to suppress all the innovation and creativity in your team, so you don't get any of that. So your team will become one that does what you say and won't take that extra step. So make contributions safe, so people feel safe suggesting, feel safe bringing their options and their thoughts to the table. But make it safe as well for those failures, that when they take the risk to put some of those contributions into play, that they're supported, that they know that failure won't come back to bite them, as long as they learn, as long as they take the lesson from it. Okay. Number 4, put your people first. Forget the old saying, the customer first mantra. It's a lie. Who do you want to be dealt with when you go into a shop, or into like a supermarket or a restaurant or an airline? Who do you want to be served by? An engaged employee, or a disengaged employee who knows you trump him or her? Yes, right. We all know it. We want to be engaged by that person who feels empowered in their job, who knows that they have the information at their fingertips, who knows how to get it, who is driven to get it, and who knows that they make my day good as their customer. Customers want to be served by engaged employees. People, your people first. That's what you need to look after. Look after your employees. An employee who's engaged will increase customer loyalty by 24%. Engaged employees also feel as if they can answer any question and answer it safely, because they know you put employee first, so that you give them the skills and the safety and the consistency to do a good job by your customers. I worked in an organisation where it came down from the very top: customer first. Say yes was the mantra. Staff felt undermined, they felt devalued, they basically lost a lot of the motivation, a lot of the drive to do well, because they knew they were going to be undermined at every turn. And that was a big mistake by the organisation. So it's not customer first, employee first. Look after your employees, they'll look after your customers, and your customers will come back to you, and sometimes they'll even pay more for it. So the fifth tip is to create a clear vision. Direction is a very important factor in motivating people. People need that direction. They need to know where they're supposed to get to. So that vision that you give them creates that goal. It gives them the goal, but it also sets the parameters within which they work. So by giving that clear vision, you're also giving them a framework within which they can be innovative and creative. They can stretch themselves towards that vision. How do you get them to do that? Give them a sense of what it would feel like to achieve that vision. Just have a chat with them someday during a team meeting, when you're discussing the vision. How would it feel like when we achieve this? What's that going to feel like? Put it on for a while. Try it out. Allow them to sort of get enveloped in that feeling of success, and then let them loose to go and do that and achieve that vision within the framework that you've given them. And finally, an engaged leader needs to be a strong decision maker. Yes, we all talk about contribution, we all talk about involving people, but not everything can be by committee. Not everything can be by a democratic vote. People like certainty and clarity from their leaders as well. Democracy when it suits, committee when it suits, discussion a lot, conversation a lot, take people's opinions and suggestions on board, but then you make the decision. Avoid sweating the small stuff. That goes against the certainty and clarity that people like. That makes you look maybe that you're not in control of the situation, and that the small stuff is actually controlling you. So look at the bigger picture, make that decision, own the decision, and own the outcome. By making that decision, you're giving the team the framework that they can work in. They can go ahead now and chase that decision down. Happy enough? Thank you very much. So if you like what we've just chatted about there, that's a brief skim through 6 tips. We go into that in far more detail in the Engaging Leadership Academy. Just like to introduce you to this. You can find this on our website, www.etimes2.com, and you can here you can get there's a range of courses. There's a range of short and longer courses available. Here's one that I offer to you. It's a Engaging Leadership Master Program, really. Nine modules over 9 months, and full of learning. The modules are video like this online, but there's also live sessions on webinars. There's live sessions on social media. There's a network of leaders as well through social media where we can ask questions and discuss things 24/7. So the class and the learning doesn't end at the end of the training day. There's no such thing as the training day. It's when you want it to happen. It's when you need it. And you can have access to me and any help and support that I can give you 24/7. Okay? I will sleep sometimes, but I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Okay? So thank you very much. Any questions, again, please nigel@etimes2.com or connect with me on LinkedIn. You'll find me there. You'll find me on Twitter, Facebook, the whole lot. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much.